Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, June 5th, 2026. The fire potential headlines for today include some dry and windy weather across the south through the weekend as two strong troughs move through. We do have high risk issued already, and there's been a number of fire weather watches and red flag warnings being issued, so look out for those. We are also expecting some isolated dry thunderstorms possible on Sunday with that first trough. The second trough on Tuesday, Wednesday will likely bring precipitation and maybe even some decent precipitation with cooler temperatures. As far as fuels go, check out the new weekly fuels webcast that was just issued yesterday afternoon that does a little bit more of a deep dive into the current fuel conditions. For the next couple of days are shown here. Some wind starting today across much of the area with those gusts 25 to 35 miles an hour. Tomorrow the winds strengthen along the Sierra Front and across much of eastern Nevada and into Utah with gusts up to 40 miles an hour and very low relative humidities. And then on Sunday we'll see winds continuing over southern and southeast Utah, but we will see some precipitation starting to move into the north. And here in Utah, northern Utah is where we'll see that mix of kind of wet and dry thunderstorms expected for maybe a potential increase in IA. Yesterday was a quiet day, no precip, no lightning. It's been a very quiet week so far. Yesterday we had 7 new fires for 80 acres. Most of those acres came from this fire in northern Utah and 0 acres on our large fire growth. ERCs are on upward swing area-wide with the warm and dry weather that we've had this week. We even have a couple of more stations moving into that 90th percentile, which is this orange color, and this whole PSA across far southern Utah has popped into that orange category. Across northern Utah, a closer look here showing those values still sticking near the historical records, but with the expected trough coming in early next week, bringing some cooler air and precipitation, we'll see those values decreasing. All right, let's look at the forecast. The upper air charts and the significant fire potential product shown here. We can see a low pressure off the Pacific coast that's going to be moving closer to the Great Basin over the coming days, bringing increasing winds area wide. For today, we don't have any high risk issued, but we do have some areas in brown indicating dry conditions with some breezy winds. Tomorrow, that low draws a little bit closer, and this is when we'll really see the stronger winds showing up into the Great Basin. We have high risk issued for eastern Nevada and across much of southern Utah, central and southern Utah. On Sunday, that first low continues to move eastward, dragging a little bit of precipitation possibly into eastern Idaho, eastern Nevada, and northern Utah. So we'll keep an eye on that for some drier type thunderstorms. And then we see the next trough developing as well off the Pacific coast. A closer look at the winds for the next few days do show some breezy conditions today, mostly over Idaho and into parts of western Nevada. Low relative humidities as well across much of the area. Tomorrow those winds really pick up. In the pink shading here, we're looking at winds 45 miles an hour plus. So definitely a very widespread windy day across Utah, southern Nevada, and along the Sierra Front. Low relative humidities will accompany those winds. And then on Sunday, we'll see the winds continuing over southern and southeast Utah, where we'll continue to see those strong gusts. We do see the minimum relative humidities come up just a bit over western Wyoming, eastern Idaho, and parts of northern Utah. So we are looking for a little bit of precipitation behind the front here across the north. A closer look at the precip there, not looking for much today. Late tomorrow, we may see some isolated storms start to develop over eastern Nevada and into northern Utah and eastern Idaho. And then on Sunday, this is a different image. It just captures that precip potential a little bit better. Again, looking for maybe some isolated drier type storms across portions of northern Utah. So we want to keep an eye on that. Further north, these storms will have a little bit more precipitation with them. As we head into the first part of next week, that next low continues to move closer to the Great Basin, bringing another round of strong winds out ahead of it, strong dry winds. So we do have high risk issued once again for the southern basin on Monday. On Tuesday, that low continues to move a little bit further eastward towards the Great Basin, bringing some precipitation to the north by Tuesday and some cooler weather, Nevada and Idaho. But we do still have dry, gusty winds out ahead of that front over southern and southeast Utah for those high-risk triggers there. And then on Wednesday, the low slowly continues to move eastward across the northern Rockies. And we do see fire potential overall decreasing quite a bit across the north and across northern Nevada and northern Utah with the cooler temperatures and a decent shot at precipitation. Looking at those winds for the first part of next week, however, again, strong prefrontal winds in Nevada and western Utah on Monday. On Tuesday, the winds will be focused a little bit more across the south with some cooler temperatures coming in behind that front further north. And then continued windy conditions on Wednesday, but most of this is going to be behind the front with the cooler temperatures and precipitation coming in. We see the relative humidities really increase across the north in Idaho and western Wyoming, starting on Monday, but really beginning Tuesday, Wednesday, when we'll see that precipitation moving in. All right, as far as the precip goes, precipitation starting to move into northern Nevada and far western Idaho, possibly late in day by Monday, but the better storms are going to be coming in Tuesday to Idaho, northern Nevada, and Wednesday, Nevada, and into northern Utah. To sum things up, for today, no high risk, but maybe some dry, breezy conditions. The winds really pick up across the south tomorrow and into Sunday, continuing on Monday, continuing on Tuesday across southern Utah, but we will see cooler, more moist conditions starting to move into the northern parts of the basin, really Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. The extended forecast for June 10th through the 14th puts below normal temperatures in place across the Great Basin, especially the north, and near normal precipitation, except maybe slightly above normal chances there over our northern and eastern areas. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.